welcome back. Welcome back if you've been here before, and hello if this is your first time here. I thought I'd do something a little more upbeat this time and share with you one of my favourite weekends, probably my favourite weekend ever. It consisted of driving to London and watching Taylor Swift perform at Wembley Stadium, then the next day visiting the Harry Potter studios for the first time. Both of those were first times. I have never been to Wembley, or maybe not even a concert that big. And yes, I know what you're going to say. This is the most white bread, bland cereal, tap water weekend ever, but I don't care. I enjoyed it, and that's all that matters. Every photograph that you see should have been shot on the Fuji X100v, with all of the images straight out of camera, so JPEGs, no raw editing at all. Even the black and white photographs were in camera with a black and white preset on. The only change that I had from the X100 was the 28mm adapter, so to make it slightly wider than the 35 that it normally comes with. I'd also be cropping the images sometimes as well, so it'll be the 28 to whatever the next mode is and the next mode. So they are digital crops, so losing a bit of quality, but that's fine, it doesn't matter. So I think it was just before summer, or beginning of summer, so June 24 is when I got the tickets for. I had to wait a whole year, and they cost a lot of money. I think the whole tickets, trip, food, like hotel, everything was over $1,000 just for the Taylor Swift Wembley side of it, which if you're not a fan and you're still here watching this, then you'll probably think that's a lot of money, and I agree, it is, but it's a once in a lifetime thing, really. I didn't go with anybody. I didn't go with a girlfriend. I didn't go with a friend. I managed to get the tickets. There was, if you know about it, you know there's a massive waiting list for them. And you get put in essentially like a lottery, then a waiting list, and then it's not even a guarantee you're going to get them. And I was one of the lucky ones that did. So I pack up my little car. I take the bare minimum of what I need for, 1 or 2 nights. And I travel up. As I was approaching the ring roads around London, I could see more and more people dressed up. There was more traffic that area. But then it got pretty exciting as I was finding my way to the nearby hotel. Everybody was just walking towards it. I jump out the car. I begin walking towards Wembley. Everybody's dressed up in all the different eras. So the t-shirts, the hats, the boots, all that sort of stuff. I was definitely underdressed, but whatever. It was just me doing my own thing. It beat anything that I could think that it was going to happen. I tried not to watch any of the trailers, or I think there was a video about it already. I don't know if it was on Netflix or if it was on Amazon, it doesn't really matter. But I didn't watch that because I wanted to go in completely surprised. So I get in, I grab a Pimm's or something like that, I can't remember what it was, a popcorn, and sit down, try and find my seat pretty early. At the time, there wasn't that many people in. I think I was one of the first in that section anyway. So I got to watch Wembley fill up while I was having some snacks. I got a few pictures of the area and the mood and people coming in. It was pretty exciting. I wore the Fuji around my neck, just on show, the silver and black version. I wasn't trying to hide anything. Luckily, Wembley let you take in small cameras like that. And so it was much nicer trying to get those images on that camera than it would have been a phone, because by the time you get them on a big monitor and you have a look back, if you're going to print them or anything, it would not have held up on a phone. So I sit there with popcorn, and the first act comes on. There's somebody I've never heard of. A lot of, I would say probably more than 25 to 50% of the audience knew who it was. Now I know who it was, and now you will know who it was. It was Benson Boone. Never heard of him. He was doing flips. He had quite a nice voice. I didn't know any of the words, but everybody else was singing. And that was my first experience of him. Then that takes me on to Hayley Williams. I'm such a fan of her, it's unreal. Her vocals are absolutely amazing, and so's her presence on stage as well. So Paramore were the next group, the next act, the next support act, the second one, to come out. and I think I expected more from them. I didn't go really with many expectations at all, but I know of her and I know she could sing, and she really delivered. She's so good. You might think it's quite an unusual act, having Paramore, a slightly more rocky, but now gone into maybe more pop and experimental. But it was brilliant, and I know they're friends, and I know they go way back. I think Taylor even quoted Paramore as one of the people she was watching when she was coming up in the music scene. So Paramore, absolutely amazing. All of them. Hayley stage presence, vocals, brilliant. And then, as we know now, there was loads of little Easter eggs that Taylor had put out, like the countdown of the clock, the countdown, the orange door, all that stuff that makes sense afterwards, but at the time nobody knew what those things meant. One of the things she said that stood out, which I try to adopt, is that whatever those songs had meant to you or your experience with them before, let them remind you of this night, as in tonight, the night she was performing, not this night here. And that sticks with me when I watch it back or listen to the songs. It's like, that was such a good time. So I think she performed for about 3.5 hours. It was something like that. It was incredibly long for her, I'm sure, but yeah, definitely getting your money's worth watching that many different songs and outfit changes. The day/evening was absolutely amazing. A really good set. I say set, show. The costumes, the dancers, Taylor herself, everybody, all of it, absolutely amazing. I'm glad I went. I got zero regrets at all, and that's why it's one of my best weekends, if not best ever. The photos that I did get are obviously just personal, just ones for me. I couldn't imagine being a concert photographer there, which I have done in the past. The images you could get from that would be absolutely amazing. But I was in my seat. I didn't really move other than getting food and drinks. So it's going to be very stationary. The photos that you'll see very much just in one place and my views from there. I like her fun songs as well as I like the more sad ones. So one thing that my friend advised me to do that I did not do was get earplugs. And now I know for other concerts in future, because I cannot go through that again. It was so loud. It was the most pressure, maybe not pressure, that's the wrong word for it, the most volume that I've ever, in anything, ever been part of. The screams were making my ears crackle and pop. It's so hard to describe. I don't know if I have sensitive ears or not, but it was so loud. Everything was distorted. I couldn't actually hear the music or people. It was pretty bad, but that's on me. That's what I get for not bringing earplugs, and I know that now. Because it was almost proper summertime, the show ended up in, not darkness, but it was getting darker, so everything kind of stood out. The lights were better, because watching a show like that in the daytime kind of loses its magic. So the show finishes, the fireworks go off, the confetti comes down, and it's just brilliant. Everybody's walking back. The energy during it was great. The energy afterwards was great. It was just a really nice, friendly, safe, I would say, because you're only going to go there and pay that much money if you actually want to be there, unless you're supporting a partner, whatever. But most people there wanted to be there, so it was really nice to share that. I definitely had my share of singing and shouting and just whistling and making noise where I could. I think at one point I was holding my phone and camera at the same time, trying to get video and pictures, like both at the same time while shouting. I don't think you can pick me up on vocals because it was so loud. But what the phone doesn't show for the video clips that I did get is how loud it is. The microphone obviously just dulls everything down a bit and it just sounds like people aren't really excited, but it was insane, I promise you. They were so loud. So the evening's done. I get back, I check into the world's smallest little hotel room. The hotel did not look like it did on the pictures, but whatever, it was too late and I was too tired, it didn't matter. I checked in to my own Harry Potter cupboard. There's a picture of it, which I probably won't show, of the bed, the wall about that far away, then the door. And other than the bathroom, that was it. There was no room to do anything. Nothing at all. But it didn't matter. It was just there for the night. The sleep was whatever. And then I get up the next day and I go to Harry Potter Studios. Quick drive through the London roads. Luckily, not too bad. Not too bad of rush hour at all. And I arrive and I can see big buses, coaches of people from all over the place, Europe, wherever, USA. Obviously they didn't drive from the USA, but everyone's coming out for the allocated times that you have to be there by for the show. So I get a few pictures outside. I think I awkwardly ask somebody to get a picture of me at the beginning and again at the end. They do a security check and then you walk through the doors. And then you get to look around, and one of the first things you see is a massive dragon in a big hallway. You get to check out the food in those halls, which I did. I hadn't had breakfast at this point because I just come straight from the hotel. So I had a burger, and I think I went for this Dementor burger or something like that. And that was pretty cool as well. She brought it over on this plate, and I couldn't see it because they had one of those glass domes, like a bell thing on top. And she took it off, and there was all this misty fog stuff that evaporated. I don't know what they do, I'm not a chef, but that was very fun. That was a fun way to serve a burger, so that was a good start. I think after that I bought chocolate, ice cream and whatever else I fancied. Buying whatever I wanted. So walk around a little bit, check all the stuff that you can see outside, and then you queue up to get in. When I was there was loads of school kids right behind me, so there was me, them. There must have been 30 to 50, all in like orange coats or whatever it was, so they could identify each other. And the guy that was working there, I don't know if we spoke about it, I don't know if I brought it up. He went, "Mate, don't worry, it's so big, you won't see them again." And I thought, how big can it be? Like, of course I'm going to see them. He was absolutely right. I'm not going to spoil it for if you haven't been there, but once you get into the main bit, after you pass the stuff at the beginning, yeah, you don't see them again. It was incredible. I think my time slot was something like 10:30 from memory. I don't know if it is, I don't know if it's not. So let's say I was there for then. I needed to get home, which on a good day is about 4 hours drive or more, like on a good day. So I knew that I needed to be out at a decent time in the afternoon. So about halfway through, just after you get some butterbeer stuff, I didn't know that it was halfway. So I see all the main points of interest, I see like the Dursley's house, I see everything, the night bus, all that sort of stuff. And then I realised I probably need to speed run the second half to actually get home at a decent time, because I think the next day I had to go to work. I think from memory I took that day off to not be there, but then yeah, I need to be up in the morning, so that was going to be quite a session. I don't want to use the word magical to describe a Harry Potter thing, but that's the only word that really fits. It definitely takes you back to being a kid, you're in awe, you're just looking around at all the exhibits, and I do want to spend more time. I'm actually going back there in a few weeks, months, I don't know how long, but I want to read all the plaques, I want to listen to all the talks, I want to find out everything there is, because last time I didn't get to spend that much time on it. Knowing that they have the real items from the movies and imported some of the real sets as well, that's pretty special. That's definitely a part of history. I've just noticed all the blue light that was out there, because it's blue hour, is now gone. It's now evening. I definitely lost track of time when I was in the studios, just being involved, just being immersed in the world. And halfway through, I think I did have a Taylor Swift t-shirt on, obviously, some merch that I bought. There was a lady from Florida, there's a family, and we were just sat on a bench. She sparked up a conversation about the event and the place like that. And it was just nice talking to people that have similar hobbies without the risk of just rambling on and on about it, which I don't need to do. It was just the best weekend. Sometimes you just need a solo trip for yourself, just to do your own thing. It was nice that I had a year to look forward to it, so it was definitely like a countdown, you know, working full time at the time. Just each month that went by I was a little bit closer. It was all special. It might not be for you, it might not be for anybody that you know, and that's absolutely fine. It doesn't make a difference to me. I know that it was one of the best weekends that I've ever had. And I've had some pretty good ones. Could I have not filmed this or shown any of the images? Sure, and I haven't. It's been over a year, but all they're going to do is sit on a hard drive and no one's going to see them. So at least this way you can learn more about me. I can show you that what I'm interested in. Maybe if you are too, cool, we can bond over that, that's fine. But if you just watch this for the sake of supporting me, then thank you as well. I'm going to try and do more things that I'm interested in. More photography that I've done that I like, more day trips, that sort of stuff. Not just talking head, sat down or ranting. I'm going to try and show you things that I enjoy. So look out for the new videos if you want to. I appreciate you watching, and I shall see you next time. Thanks again for watching. Even if this isn't your thing, I'm glad you sat through it. Maybe you liked one or two of the pictures. And I shall see you in the next one.
Unforgettable moment in not just my life, but every one of my band members, every single one of our crew. Our band is going to be playing live for you for 3.5 hours tonight. They deserve this so much, and so does every one of my fellow performers. And you just gave that to us so generously. We will never forget it. London, you are the winners, aren't you?